A man depleted in semen is depleted of life. The spark that forces the body to move and brain to think is stronger when the sexual energies are not being spent. You will find making progress in life to be extremely difficult if you are deficient in this energy. I believe it will also impede on your intellectual development over time. Many people perhaps choose not to see the world as a competition, and that is okay. But let's go over some of the objective conditions of life. You exist in a realm shared by at least 2.5 billion other working men, the majority of which are competing for wealth, attention, mate choice, and many other forms of resources. If you weren't born rich, connected, or attractive, you are starting with a disadvantage. Some will also be born in countries with more opportunities and some with less, and that is just the luck of the draw. Each man makes progress in this world through his connections, talents, financial resources, and so on. If you weren't gifted good genetics or weren't born into wealth or high position, then you will need to develop the skills and connections to survive. It is not easy for the average man, and day by day the bar is being raised as to what you need to do in order to merely survive. In my almost 20 years of doing music, without ever seeing any real success, I realized a single skill is not going to cut it in today's world. 20 years ago, maybe musical skill alone was enough to get noticed. Now though, musical talent is not rare. You need multiple skills, knowledge of social media, perhaps even AI, social connections, musical talents, and preferably good looks. The competition in any field is fierce, and if you want to excel, then you are going to need to get exceptionally good in multiple areas, and perhaps develop enough creativity to stand out. To get good at something, you will need an investment of energy over the long term. Every day you have roughly a day's worth of energy at your disposal. Activating your reproductive system and engaging in sexual activity is a massive draw on your energetic resources. It drains the very life force that you need to get ahead in life. Your body places reproductive success over its own survival, and thus your physiology won't prevent you from sacrificing yourself for the sake of reproduction, meaning it will allow you to expend great amounts of sexual energy, even if it comes with the cost of accelerated aging and shortened lifespan. In order to prevent this loss, you must make the conscious choice not to waste your energetic resources. You are a domestic creature living in the confines of society. You live within four walls, which allows you privacy and protection, and you live with enough wealth to afford food every day. Such a situation takes away the fight or flight survival response that animals in the wild are constantly living under. The urgency of death need not motivate you in this life. Your nervous system relaxes and thus easily falls into the state of idleness and vice. Out of the vices, sexual desire is perhaps the most universal among men. Of course, in the wild, animals are very sexual too, though the demands of survival suppress the opportunity for indulgence. Masturbation in the wild is rare. Domestic animals engage in this practice at an overwhelmingly higher rate. Remember this. You are living among the domestic animals, and the moment you release yourself from the vices of the domestic creature, your advantages skyrocket over the vast majority of those around you. Semen retention offers the man a daily surplus of energy and power to draw from. He has to pay the price of sexual restraint, but in return, he receives the gift of energy, and he is free to use it for any undertaking he so desires. Energy is the currency of life. It is more valuable than anything else. This is why a man retaining his semen will hold a strong edge over the competition in any field he enters. Of course, he will still need to work hard, but unlike the sexually depleted man, he should have ample energetic resources to work harder, develop faster, and flourish into a more competent and perceptive man of his trade. As a result, a retainer creates more value in his life than the sensualist man. You may find on long-term retention that your will becomes so strong that it starts to develop a direction of its own. And you may find yourself drifting towards something that you were not originally intending to pursue. This happened to me, as I moved away from the career I was pursuing for almost 20 years and took a totally new direction in life. I believe this is your intuition guiding you and would recommend following it. Semen retention is not going to instantly make you the top player in your circle or work. You are still starting from who you've been for the last however many decades you've been alive. Though it gives you a new tool or source of energy that will become more advantageous the longer you employ it, as the more days you retain, the more days you have a surplus of energy to work with. This energy you are conserving also works to regenerate your physiology. It slows aging, as it is known in biology that reproductive activity accelerates it. It inspires more moral behavior, as it is known that lust works to deteriorate it. It transforms the entire nature of your being from a very deep level and can inspire a man to change the course of his future. I do not say these words lightly. These are messages that have been taught since the dawn of history, since the first parable in the story of man, the Garden of Eden. Most humans are not yet prepared to receive this kind of knowledge. But if you are here, then I assume that you are. And now that you know it, it is up to you to make use of it. If you have come this far on your journey as to know the value of your own semen, then it would be a shameful waste to not use that power to make yourself a better man and help better serve mankind. The substance of your existence dissipates bit by bit, day by day, and every release of semen contains a small part of you in it. So keep it within you and you will exist more. Your life force will remain stronger, your spark will remain brighter. You will impress more upon the world, and the world will benefit more from having you in it. This is nothing short of a superpower in today's world, and I encourage you to use it, not just with the intention of fulfilling personal desires, but with the intent to lend your energies to humanity, to help better this world in some way whilst you are still here.